In the subject of meditation, we are specifically looking at Raj Yoga meditation. The term is a very interesting one. Yoga, everybody's heard the word yoga across the world, but yoga actually means to unite, to join things together. And when we talk about Raj Yoga, we're talking about that yoga which is able to give mastery over the self. And so, firstly, when I come to the awareness of who I am, then in that state, I'm able to be the master of my physical senses. And then, of course, the things that we spoken of in detail, mastery over my thoughts, my feelings, my awareness, my understanding, and then further, mastery even over my own personality traits. But Raj Yoga also has another concept, and that is the understanding of the divine. And so to have mastery over the self is one aspect of Raja, the king, the sovereign, but it also refers to the fact that this is the meditation in which we're actually having a connection, that yoga union with the Supreme, the highest of all, the Supreme Being, the one whom we sometimes call God. I know that people are a little bit allergic to this term, but it's an important concept to look at. Definitely, you can meditate without thinking of a Supreme, just simply meditation on the self and coming back to that inner space in which I discover who I am and I'm able to connect with my own highest qualities and allow that transformation to work is actually possible just simply by the self. But it's hard work. And what makes it a lot easier is if I can connect with a source of external power, power which is absolutely altruistic and full of goodness and benevolence, with no other motive except simply to be able to give and purify. And that is the being we describe as God. But if you don't believe in God, it's fine. Continue to meditate, please. It'll help you a lot. And just that awareness of the inner being will change your responses to people around you, and therefore also then their responses to you. But maybe you'll be interested to listen to some of the ideas that we'd like to share, because there's been a lot of misinformation about the subject of God. And I know that I myself was born in a Hindu tradition, and those ideas really didn't make much sense to me. I was also brought up in England within a Christian education. At first, in fact, until the age of 11, convent schools, both in India and in England. But after that, just what they call COE, Church of England School. And what we find within all of these things is that, again, there are ideas that are being shared that we are told we mustn't challenge, whether it's in the East or the West. In the East, they say to you, well, it's in the scriptures, and the scriptures are the final authority, and so you have to believe. And in the West, they tell you, well, it's a mystery, and so you just have to accept. You can't challenge it, and there are no answers available. And so, given those two positions, I found myself in a situation in which I really didn't think I needed to know anything more about this subject until I was maybe retired and had nothing else to do except sit back in a rocking chair and think about these things. But fortunately, I came across these teachings when I was just starting university and had the time and space to give a little bit of possibility to exploring new ideas. And these are the things that I'd like to share with you. And listen with an open mind. And yes, definitely ask questions, but also experiment with the concepts. And once you've been able to experiment with these ideas, you'll be able to decide for yourself what is comfortable for you or not. The practice of soul consciousness in the way that's been described earlier, there are two different practices that are important. One is the practice where I'm talking, I'm walking, I'm seeing, I'm doing, but I, the soul, sit here and I experience myself as the master of this physical form, this chariot of mine. So that is very much soul consciousness. The other is when I have the opportunity just to sit quietly and no other distractions, and I go on this inner journey and I actually experiment with the idea of focusing my attention just on that being that I am, the soul, and going deeper and deeper inside, connecting with the truth that lies within, but also coming to that awareness in which I can actually feel I, the soul, am a totally separate entity, independent of this physical form. So it's two things working together, soul and body. And so yoga, union, that perfect harmony and alignment where I know I'm a soul, but I'm the master of this body. So Raj Yoga, the sovereign of this body. And if I've been practicing this awareness, both in meditation as well as through activity, then when I get to the next subject of exploring the consciousness of the divine, the supreme, it's very easy to come to an understanding that can allow me to resonate with it, but also then to be able to actually connect and experience who the Supreme is.